trends are here, and honestly, half of them are a scam. Let's talk about what the fashion industry is trying to sell us this season and how we are not going to fall for it. Let's go. Okay, to know me is to know that I like to live on the edge. I literally need to be walking out of my door in about 12 minutes to get on the train to go into Manhattan to go for a Gilded Era mansion tour, okay, so that I can be on time. So let's see if I can get through this video rather quickly, okay? So trend number one, and this is not in any particular order, but yeah, let's go. Trend number one. Now, I got these from Vogue, which, you know, obviously is the fashion Bible, I guess, but maximalism for minimalists, right? And I looked at this and I was like, isn't that just layering? So let's listen to the description. So, swishy fringe and tassel accents give new meaning to the idea of the clothes that move with you. These adornments, notably in creams and black, iterate on the overarching theme of personality dressing for the season, while still appealing to minimalists who've outgrown the ultra simplicity of quiet luxury. Look to labels like Ferragamo, by Maylene Berger. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. By Maylene Berger.
By Marlena Berger.
But like I said, I'm short on time. I ain't got time to look it up. Now for experiments in craft and texture, Alaya, a form, butchering me, and Rohi. I hope I'm not Rohi.
Oh.
I'm gonna actually have my editor, after I say each one, put the correct pronunciation right next to it, so I don't sound like a complete fool, for takes on expressive shape. So yeah, I'm looking at these pictures, I'm like, this is just layering, which I think layering is a really great way to add interest to your outfit, right? And let's play a game here. So take a shot, and it could be a shot of water. I know not everybody out there drinks, but take a shot of a liquid, water, juice, you know, your choice, of every time I say interest or interesting in this video, because I just feel like I'm gonna say it a lot. But layering can add more dimension and more interest to your outfit, right? Now, some of you might think of layering as like, oh my God, I can't do that. It's just gonna make me look bulky. It's gonna make me look sloppy, but I got you. So here's this video that's playing right now, right? Pay attention to your screens. This is a simple dress. I would say that the dress looks like it's a little oversized, or maybe it's a little too big for her. It doesn't really have a lot of shape. It's not really like giving what it can give, right? But look at how once she adds the sweater on top, all of a sudden it kind of like, you know, it adds a little silhouette, gives it a little bit more shape, and then even more so when she puts the jacket on and the bag. Now, here's another picture here of a very easy way that you can make a layered look and make your outfit look a little bit more unbasic and a little bit more interesting. So underneath this, now this could be one piece, which I find to be, you know, intriguing because I love pieces that are really interesting like that. But usually pieces like that cost a little bit more because there's a little bit more that goes into making it. What you can do is like, you can get like a denim peplum top, which is what it looks like she's wearing, like a denim peplum tank. And then she has a short sleeve denim jacket on top of that with some like really big arm openings. If you can't find something like that, or something like that's not in the budget, you can also get an oversized jacket and cut that up and, you know, make it your own. And I just love the way that like added layers. Like I might have to copy this. It's in my Pinterest for me to save to copy anyway, but you know, don't be surprised if you see me pop out with it on. Now, the key thing to remember with layering is that you want to create shape. And because we have a whole series here on the channel on, you know, how to dress for your body type, there are a number of things that layering can do to your body shape. So for instance, right now, there are a lot of body shapes. And like I said, we have a whole playlist here, a whole series here on the channel. But say for instance, you're a rectangle. A rectangle shape is a shape where the shoulder width, the waist, and the hip width are all about the same. So it gives that like long rectangle shape, not a lot of curves, but you can add visual curve with your clothing. And that's something that you could easily do with layering. Like you can add a peplum belt. You can have a button down, and when you put the sweater over it, the parts of your shirt that are untucked, that are left out underneath, that can create shape, that can give the visual illusion of hips. So layering can actually be an amazing tool in your full wardrobe, okay? Would you like to see a video on layering? I feel like you want to see a video on layering, but let me know, okay? Like if enough people say they want to see one, I'll you know, do the effort and make a video. Now, here's the thing with when it comes to trends in general. Quite often, a lot of times when I do these trend videos, or like I watch somebody else's trend videos and I kind of like look in the comments, people are saying, oh, I never follow trends. I'm not letting anyone tell me what to do and blah, 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 blah. It's all a scam. And you know, you kind kind of right. However, one great thing about fashion trends is that it allows you to be able to plan for your shopping, right? So for instance, if you're looking ahead of the season or the upcoming season where you're like, okay, what's going to be trending? Whatever is trending is something that you're going to find 9 times out of 10, right? Because, stores ain't no fool and, they want to, put in the stores what people are going to buy. But maybe not 9 times out of 10, maybe like 8.9 times out of 10. The things that are trending are going to be what you're going to be able to find in stores more abundantly. So for me, I look and see what's trending. And if something's trending that's my personal style, I get excited because I'm like, oh my God, there are things that I can add to my wardrobe that I might not be able to find otherwise. You know what I mean? So like personally, I like whimsy. I like, fun silhouettes. I like cutouts. I like short skirts, things of that nature. So if any of those things are trending, I'm like in hog heaven because then that means that I can add to my wardrobe and, be happy. Anyway, are you into the layering trend? Tell me in the comments. So next up is number 2 is what Vogue calls curious color combinations. And I was like, ain't this just the color blocking that we talked about a lot in, I don't remember what year in the 2010s, but at some point in the 2010s, I remember color blocking being everywhere. Well, if it's one thing to know about fashion, a lot of these trends are cyclical. Things are gonna come back. They're gonna come back. But one thing to remember with trends, well, we'll talk about that later. So let's read their description. Offbeat color pairings piqued designers from Tory Burch to Stella McCartney, who found harmony in sweet pastels with bold hues. It turns out a flash of red or a hint of brown is the perfect, energizing foil for pale pinks, pistachio greens, and icy blues. It's an easy one to try with shades already in your wardrobe. Just remember the golden rule. If it feels wrong, it's probably right. I don't know if I agree with that. But then again, I studied color, so maybe, Anyway, so making your looks more interesting with color can be made super easy by breaking out the color wheel. You don't even have to buy one. You can just Google it, have the picture on your phone, print it out if you want to. But the color wheel makes it very easy to pick out these color combinations, and I'll tell you about how to find a couple of them right now. So colors that are directly across from each other on the color wheel are called complementary colors. So like red and green and purple and yellow. And of course, you have the variations of that. So like red and green are complementary, but then so would pink and like lime green, You can also make color combos with colors that are directly next to each other on the color wheel, and these are called analogous color pairing. So like purple and red or purple and red and orange. And of course the variations of those colors work as well. So like a lilac with pink, that sort of thing. You also have triadic colors. Now these are 3 color pairings. Now the definition I want to actually read to you because I know what a triad is. It makes a triangle, an equilateral triangle, but let me read you the description. So there are 3 colors equally spaced around the color wheel, forming an equilateral triangle, which creates a balanced, vibrant, and dynamic color scheme. So, for instance, red, yellow, and blue, and then you also have like orange, green, and purple, etc. And again, variations of those colors work as well. Now, if you really want to do this right, finding your best colors is key. Because there's a lot of people out there like, yeah, you can wear any color. In a way, that is true. Anyone can wear any color. But there are variations of the colors. Like, what's the temperature of the color? Is it warm or cool? Or is it neutral? How intense is the color? Is it very vibrant or is it muted? That sort of thing. And the way to figure out which colors are best for you happens with what you already naturally have. And there's a playlist right here for you to, to help you discover your color season. And I ain't want to, toot my own horn, but I've been getting a lot of comments on some of these videos saying that I break down color seasons like no other. No, but for real, I think it's very helpful. Check it out. Yay or nay on colorful outfit combinations? Let me know in the comments. Okay, now the third one they called Nomadic Spirit, right? And I'm like, ain't that just boho? I swear. Boho is a trend that I feel like is always a trend, but then they call it something different each season and each year. But let's read the description. 3 seasons into Kamina Kamali's Chloe, it's clear her vision has resonated wildly with many of the fall 2025 ready-to-wear collections, channeling a similar, albeit less feminine energy. This autumn, build a bohemian-inspired look around key items such as flowing blouses, knits, and jackets jackets layered over maxi skirts, and rich embroidered jackets. These billowing silhouettes are grounded by flat footwear, hefty low-slung belts, and layered jewelry, specifically long pendants. I tried on a long pendant in, this video here. Check that out if you didn't see it. Specifically long pendants, a trend we've seen throughout the summer and is confirmed to continue through fall. Now, to me, boho is just layering in a different font. Like, one of the key elements to boho is layering, but it's like more romantic pieces, things that have like more frills, things that like maybe like some floral prints, maybe you'll see some embroidery, deeper colors. You can have deeper colors, but I can also see like some of the lighter colors in the boho as well. Accessories, I would say, are super key when it comes to the boho look. Your eyewear, your headwear, whether that's a scarf or a hat, jewelry, of course, are all things that go into the boho look. But yeah, to me, it's boho is just layering in a different font. The pieces themselves might be more eclectic, but hey, are you into the boho trend? Yay or nay? Let me know in the comments. Now, this fourth one is called Country Coded, right? Now, let me tell you something. Let's read this thing first, right? Even if you didn't attend equestrian summer camp as a preteen or have a family estate to the camp to on weekends, heritage fabrics and country house attire brought a sense of permanence to the runways. Barn jackets, mat coats, rubber boots, silk scarves, and Fair Isle knits have an enduring presence, more than just clothes meant to look the part. There are pieces to be worn in on foggy mornings in muddy parks and the spotting rain on windslick sidewalks. These are clothes built to last. Now, that part, I was like, ooh, right. Because when there's inclement weather, it's like you want to dress for the elements, but like you still kind of want to look cute. And I was like, yeah, I can get into that. But then I thought about it a little bit more and I was like, girl, you don't be going outside in the inclement weather though. Like, one of the perks of working from home is I ain't gotta deal with that BS, you know what I'm saying? But obviously there are times where I have to be out when it's raining and so on and so forth, and depending on where you live, the weather might be more amenable to, rain and things of that nature. But my thing with this equestrian look, these fashion magazines have been trying to make equestrian happen. The earliest that I remember seeing equestrian was probably back in like 1993 in 17 magazine when I was a preteen looking into fashion trends myself. And it has been recycled 50 million 11 times since then, and probably was a thing even before then, because there was a time in the 80s where, there was like that really preppy equestrian kind of look. Now, I am with it because there are elements of equestrianism that I do enjoy, like the tall boots, the blazers, some of the prints, I'm into that. I'm probably not into putting it all together to make that equestrian look. That's not really my personal style, although it is very, very cute. But I will have to say that my fellow millennials, okay, now, some of you can get a little too pumpkin spice latte looking when it comes to some of these, especially like the skinny jeans tucked into tall boots with, the capes and the hats and stuff. Like, it can call back to a specific time, back then. Now, when you were alive, when a trend was, popping and you participated in that trend, you were of age to participate in that trend, right? When it comes back around, you gotta do it different. You cannot just copy and paste what you did back then and do it now. Because think about it. Remember the like B-boy, B-girl style of the early 80s? People who were old enough to wear that back then were born in the 60s and 70s, of which are in their 50s and 60s now. Now, if you saw somebody in their 50s and 60s rocking B-boy or B-girl outfits as they were worn in the 80s, you'd be kind of like, why is she trying to hold on to the good old times, okay? Now, that's not to say that you can't dabble in it. You just gotta do it different. You gotta reinvent it. You can't, copy and paste from way back then. So my fellow millennials, with this equestrian trend, please don't take it to the pumpkin spice latte, okay? Because, it can kind of make you look dated in like a time that's already passed. Like you're trying to just hold on to something that hasn't been there. Now, the equestrian trend, when I was looking for images that hopefully my editor got coming up on the screen. Thank you, editor. You too good. Y'all be looking out for me. I did come across where I kind of veered off of equestrian and kind of got into like cowboy chic and maybe like Western elegance. Well, I don't know if this was Western elegance. I think Western elegance is more like casual dressy. This was more like casual, funky, I guess you can say. But like this look right here, I like that. And ever since Cowboy Carter, came into my life, and I went to 2 Cowboy Carter concerts, and just looking at all of the looks that people put together, and me trying to put together my outfit, I came across a couple of pieces that I was like, oh, I have to incorporate this into my full wardrobe. Cowboy hats. Well, I've always loved cowboy boots, but like different kinds of cowboy boots and things like that. I'm gonna have to, incorporate it. Like I might need to steal this girl's entire look, change it up a little bit. But anyway, are you into the equestrian trend? Let me know in the comments. By the way, I think I made a little bit good timing. I did miss the train that I wanted to get, but hopefully the next train will be coming in the next few minutes. But we did pretty good for, filming this and me needing to go, get down to the city to go on this tour. Now, full fashion can be confusing enough, but it can be extra confusing if you're not quite sure how to dress your body. But that's why I'm here, boo. Click on this playlist here to demystify what works best for your body type. Or you can click here to find out all of the colors that are gonna make you sparkle. Either one you click on, I'll see you there.